Have you ever thought about a book so powerful, so utterly profound, that just reading it could break your mind? A piece of art that holds a truth so terrible it just shatters you? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about today. This is the story of a forbidden play called The King in Yellow.
So get this. This quote comes from a character who finds the play half burning in a fireplace. He knows he shouldn't touch it, but he just can't help himself. He pulls it out of the flames, and his entire world changes forever. And just listen to that reaction. Weeping, laughing, trembling with horror all at once. That's not just being scared. That's something else entirely. Something that rewires you from the inside out.
So what is this thing really? It's a play, broken into two acts. The first act, it's completely harmless. It's described as simple, maybe even a little dull. It kind of lures you in. But the second act, that's where the trap is sprung. It supposedly contains a truth so pure, so devastating, that no human mind can handle it and stay sane. It's the ultimate forbidden knowledge.
And that's the big question, isn't it? What in the world could be written on a page that could do that to a person? The characters in these stories become completely obsessed with figuring that out, and, let's be honest, so do we.
Now, to really get a grip on what this book does to people, you first have to understand the world it exists in. The author, Robert W. Chambers, set these stories in what was the near future for him, the 1920s. But it is an America that's, well, it's not like any America we know.
On the surface, it feels pretty familiar. You've got New York City, Washington Square Park, cavalrymen on horseback, but just under that veneer of normalcy, society has twisted into something really, really strange, grotesque even.
And here's where things get really wild. In this version of America, the government has gotten rid of any laws against suicide. But they didn't stop there. They opened up government-run lethal chambers. You can just walk into one, and half an hour later, you're gone. And this isn't some dirty secret. It's treated like a public service, celebrated with military parades. It creates this chilling atmosphere where life is cheap and the government will gladly help you end it.
Okay, so we've got this deeply unsettling world. Now let's see what happens when the King in Yellow gets introduced. It acts like a mental virus, infecting its readers and just completely hijacking their sense of reality.
The very first symptom, it's an obsession with a place called Carcosa.
After someone reads the play, they can't get this image out of their head. It's this alien city, right? It's got black stars in the sky and two suns setting over a lake. It's like a memory of a place they've never actually been to, but suddenly it feels more real to them than their own life. The second symptom is a thing, a physical object, the yellow sign. And the truly creepy part is, we're never clearly told what it looks like. It's just this small, onyx clasp that people who've read the book start to notice on each other. It's like a secret handshake, a little marker that you've been initiated into this awful new reality. And finally, the book just rewires their language. All of a sudden, these strange, alien-sounding names start popping up in their thoughts, in their conversations. Names like Hastur, Casilda, the Hyades. They're basically speaking a secret language, sharing a private mythology that has nothing to do with our world. They don't belong to our reality anymore. They belong to the king. Okay, so let's see how all this comes together. We're going to look at what happens when this mental infection leads to a complete and total break from reality, seen through the eyes of the narrator from the story, The Repairer of Reputations. So I want you to meet Hildred Castagna. After a bad fall from a horse and a stint in an asylum, he now spends his days reading old books and, you guessed it, The King in Yellow. His daily ritual involves opening this massive steel safe, not for money, but just to look at a golden crown that he is absolutely convinced is his.
And right here, you see the complete split between two realities. In Hildred's mind, he is the last king of America, a direct descendant of royalty from the lost city of Carcosa. But to everyone else, especially his cousin Louis, he's just a poor, sick man who's lost his mind. Hildred thinks he's making political moves to claim his throne. But in the real world, he's just spiraling deeper and deeper into a violent, paranoid delusion.
And by the end, his fantasy has completely swallowed him whole. As he's being dragged away after a violent outburst, he's not yelling about doctors or the police. No, he's screaming about his lost empire, about traitors, and about the King in Yellow. The fiction from the play has become his one and only reality.
You know, these stories were written all the way back in 1895. But the idea at the heart of them is still so disturbing today. So why is that? Why does this concept of a book that drives you mad still have such a powerful grip on us?
Well, I think it comes down to a few brilliant, terrifying things. First, the monster isn't a physical creature, it's an idea, and you can't stab an idea or shoot it. Once it's in your head, it's there for good. Second, it spreads through art, something beautiful that we're drawn to, which makes it the perfect trap. But the real genius, the masterstroke, is that we never find out what's in that second act. The author just leaves it blank, forcing our own imaginations to cook up the most horrible thing we can possibly think of.
So, at the end of the day, the terror here isn't about some scary monster or a gruesome scene written on a page. The real horror is losing yourself. It's the thought that you could read something that would fundamentally, irreversibly change who you are, twisting your own mind into something you don't even recognize anymore. And that leaves us with a pretty chilling thought. We build walls and buy weapons to protect ourselves from physical harm, but our minds, they're always vulnerable. So what happens when the most dangerous thing in the world isn't some monster lurking in the dark, but a single, perfectly crafted, and utterly devastating idea?